man who tries to portray that they're the prize, and I don't care how good looking they are, I don't care what they do for work, but they are absolutely not the prize. So as a woman, in your young, prime, beautiful age, you need to be extremely selective. And I think guys know this, right? That is why you see them pursue you, because if you already this beautiful person that they are excited to get to know, it puts you right here and puts him here. And he has to do his best to win you over, because you can literally just go on to the next dude who will find value in you as well.
You met him. He just doesn't drive a really fancy car. You met him. He just wasn't over 6 foot. You met him. He just wasn't the best dresser. You met him and he may have said something awkward on the first date. Those guys are at work. Those type of dudes are not going to pay $300 on the first date for a meal. Those type of dudes aren't going to go out here and buy you a purse just because you're cute. And somehow, somewhere got it twisted that unless a man can be spontaneous and do whatever you want at the drop of a hat, then that means he's not capable of taking care of business. Those type of men take care of business. It's just, they're boring. A lot of women don't like being told no. You met him. You just thought he was lame.
Though, you went out and laid down with this little girl.
Mom, I'm not ready for this. I can't do this. This is too much, bro. I ain't got no money to take care of no kids.
You and Amanda, y'all, I know you only 16, but you and Amanda have known each other since y'all was kids. Y'all been close for a long time, so I'm sure.
I don't want nothing to do with her. Man, this is not it, man.
Okay, but you can't just leave her. You can't just leave her high and dry. No, you're gonna take care of the baby.
Tell me what I can do.
Yes, I can, because I'm your mom, and I still take care of you.
Bro, it's too much.
So you know what time it is. So all of that, all them designer and all this stuff.
I didn't grow up with no daddy. So how am I supposed to know what to do?
Because you're gonna sit, and you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna adjust yourself to what you have going on.
Mom, just a baby.
For it to work. Now you just a baby. You wasn't just a baby when you was laying down with her. So don't try to pull out you just a baby card now. Just let me talk. Let me talk.
No, I'm just too young.
Just let me talk. There's no more all that. Well, we just gonna be doing allowances now. No. You can make money over here with me to take care of the baby. You can make money here with me. No. You can come work at the shop, do stuff at the shop. No. Pitch in time at the shop, and I'll pay you for it.
Working. No.
And then but ain't no pay her. Stop playing. You know that little girl already got a job. She already working. She been working. You got to think about it. She's not as fortunate as you was. And I love that little girl. So I would never even if I didn't know her, I would never let you do her like that. Because I'm a woman who didn't have no daddy around for you. You should never did what you did. And I told both of y'all down 2 years ago and told y'all, since y'all haven't doing what y'all do, y'all better be ready for the consequences that come with it. No. I told y'all.
No. Chin up, chest out. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes your daily dose of reality. Being with a good man or a good woman is not free. I want you to let that sink in for a second. You cannot get a good man or a good woman for a song and a dance. So guys, that means that you got to step your game up. And ladies, that means you need to have your qualities in order. Looking good is not good enough. How you perform behind closed doors is not good enough. You need to bring your A game every time or stay out the game. See, either they're going to be your MVP or they're going to be a bench rider. There's no in between. If you don't agree, let me know what you think in the comments. What up? What up? What up? What up? 2 topics in 1 video. We're going to go in today. Before we hit this gym, because I don't feel like doing this shit, but I'm going to do it anyway. Number 1, once y'all hear this video, y'all gonna understand. Like, I see why that motherfucker is all right being single. I see why he don't care about being single. Because again, the game is rigged against you. Once you know the game is rigged against you, you don't play it. You don't play it. Is that
meaning the finger should be only pointed at just at the women. Nah. But the game is rigged against you, and some women don't understand it. So therefore the game's even rigged more against you because they don't even know the shit. They don't even know half the shit that they doing that's wrong. They say that men date younger women because they're scared of grown woman pressure. I can't speak for, let me say this. I can't speak for all men and why they do what they do. That's number one. But I'm explain to you why this shit probably happens more than often, right? They say that men date younger women because they're scared of grown woman pressure. And the other topic is don't let men take you on a walk in the park date. You know, the entitlement is crazy. Most women who say that men should not date younger women are the same older women who was the younger women who did not want you. I've made videos on this countless times. She wanted the guy to pull up in the car to pick her up. She wanted the 21-year-old, you 16. She's 16. I'll even give you 18. You 18, she's 18. She wanted that 23-year-old because you on a bus stop. That 23-year-old selling dope or something. He got a car. She wanted that guy. Some of them even was dealing with men older than that. They didn't want you at your age. They did not want us at their age. Some did, yes, of course, some did. But we got to stick to the topic. The topic is men date younger women because they're scared of grown men pressure. So I'm going to prove to y'all why this really happens most of the time. I can't speak for all men, but I'm going to prove to you why it happens the most of the time, right? A lot of times what happened with females is they decided to play around. Some of them dealt with older men when they was younger, hypocritical as fuck. And anyways, they ended up getting pregnant. They liked the wrong type of guys and shit like that. And the feminist movement has told them that you guys, just like I read a comment earlier, just like I read a post earlier, these men are easy as fuck. See, this is the shit that happens. You know what happens when you think men are easy as fuck? Oh, I can wait at the finish line, or they'll be there at the finish line. See, what it really is women are not really, they don't really care that you date younger women. That's not the problem, because they was the same younger women who dated older men. The real issue is they're no longer the younger women, so they're hating on the younger women because they didn't make the right moves when they was younger. When they had the prime in the palm of their hands. Remember in that other video, I said they choose a man when you got the game in a chokehold. The woman has the game in a chokehold when she's younger, especially if she looks real good. She got the game in a chokehold from like 18 to 25. She got the game in a chokehold. But what happens is they fumble that shit. They fumbled a perfect opportunity to get a good man. Why? Because they think that, oh, they're so easy. I got so many coming this way and that way. Or they just chose the wrong guy. So it's not always pointing the finger at the woman, because a lot of it has to do with them choosing the wrong guy. But it's one of the two issues. Either she chose to play around and be this so-called bad bitch player, you know what I mean, that thought that men was disposable and shit, or she just simply chose the wrong guy. But now they want you to pay for that. So let's just say you are a 35-year-old man. Let's just say that. You're a 35-year-old man. You don't have kids. You try to get with these women all your life and shit, right? Let's just say this. You're a 35-year-old man. You try to get with these so-called women all your life, right? And all they did was play you for the bad boys. From the time you was 18, you wasn't good enough because he was 25 and he had a car. He sold drugs. You know what I mean? Now you're 35. That's the man's prime. See, the woman's prime is more. Everything's not always the same. So get out of here, please. Y'all all please do not come on this shit today. I don't got time for you. For the most part, a woman's prime is from like 21 to about 30. I'll give her 30. Really, you could say from 18 to 30, but at 18, they really ain't got no income and shit like that. Cause that's part of a woman's prime money too, not just her looks. You know what I mean? She got to be a grown woman. So I'll give her 21. 21 to 30. That's her prime right there. She got it in a chokehold. That's why, oh, these men ain't shit. They so easy. You know, she got it in a chokehold. A man's prime starts from like 30 to 40 and beyond. Why? Because a man is based more off of stability and what he can provide and bring, and a woman is based more off of fertility and looks. That's just what it is. You can get mad at whoever. I don't give a fuck. Get mad at whoever. That's the name of the game. But you guys didn't listen. You listened to the feminist movement. These good guys are going to be there, girl, in the end. Go ahead and play around with these other guys. See, the feminist movement told you that you had the man's prime, which is later. They didn't tell you, no, the woman's prime is really, a woman should be trying to find a solid guy in her 20s. That don't mean she got to get married and live with the guy and all that, but she needs to take it serious instead of playing around, sleeping with a whole bunch of men and thinking men are disposable and shit. So once she gets in her 30s, let's go back to that man I was talking about, 30 to 35. I forgot about it. We got to touch on this for a second. The man from 30 to 35, he didn't play around. He tried to get with women. They didn't want him, right? He didn't play around. He became some successful man, right? And he ain't got no kids or none of that. He didn't do what the bad boys did that she was chasing. You know, the ones that fell off and got a bunch of kids and all this other shit. Don't want to sound judgmental, so I'm not going to go there with all that. Let's just say the bad boys, they started to fall off. And they don't really want her. They didn't want to commit to her. So now reality's starting to set in around 30 years old. Why? Not because she don't look decent and men still don't want to fuck her. See, this is where they get it twisted. Yeah, men still want to fuck you at 30 if you decent looking. Men will fuck anybody for the most part, most of them. Because they don't know their worth. That's another topic. But yeah, you can still pull the men. But you're not you're not MJ at 23. You're MJ at 38. Even though MJ's still MJ, he's still the GOAT. But he's not the 23-year-old MJ. You're not the 23-year-old girl. You're not the girl in your prime no more. But the feminist movement has told them that it'll always be this way. But the problem is, even if you preserve yourself as a woman, it's going to be hard because the younger women are the first draft choices. That's just the way it is. Just like when the man was 18, right? And he tried to get with the woman who was 18, but she didn't want him because of a 25-year-old got the car and shit, and he's catching the bus. His prime ain't arrived yet. It's the same thing. It's just different because the woman's prime comes before. And they lied to these women, man. They told these women that these men are going to be there. Now these women, they not mad because you dating a younger woman. That's not why they really mad. And I don't think they really mad because they want the younger women. They thought that the older, successful 30 to 35-year-old guy that I was telling you about that waited and preserved himself, they expect that man to be there for them because that's what the feminist movement told them. You know, that good guy that's on his shit and all that, girl, he'll be there in the end. You just go ahead and keep sucking and fucking the bad boys. The good guy will be there in the end because he likes you. He's a good guy. So now they want the good guy to trade in his prime and deal with them who got 7 kids. She gained a lot of weight. She got 7 kids. And she's destroyed mentally from dealing with the bad boys. They say that you're wrong because you don't want to deal with that because you have preserved yourself and you're able to pull a 23-year-old, a 25-year-old. They don't like the fact that you're in your prime now. But when you was in your prime, you had to eat it. Damn, she gonna pick him because he got a ride. I gotta catch this bus. You had to eat that shit. They don't want to eat their shit. They don't want to eat their shit. And guess what, man? It all boils down to women not holding other women accountable. If women would have said, look, women, ladies, do not play around with your prime. Find a good one when you're young. Do not play around with the bad boys. They didn't do that, though. Every time you say a word woman, every woman on earth mad and defend all females. But then you want to separate and act like y'all different. How are us men going to look at you different when every time somebody says the word female or woman, you defend all of them? You should have been holding the women accountable that are using men for dates. You should have been holding the women accountable that, oh, he brought me flour. He's weak. He's square. He opened the door. He's weak. He's square. He don't want to smoke or drink. He don't say nigga 1,000 times. He's weak. He's square. You didn't hold those women accountable for that shit. So now men realize, well, they like the bad guy. They don't like the good guy, so I'm not doing that. Why am I going to take her on a date when she's just going to fuck him after I drop her off on a date? See, these women are not holding those women accountable for that shit. So men said, fuck it. Why would I open the door for you? Why would I be the so-called nice guy, basically, when you still going to choose that guy? Women said nothing about it. They don't hold other women accountable. So now all women basically are affected by the actions of all women. Why don't men take us on dates no more? I told you why. Because of other women, the ones that you refuse to hold accountable. Of course, the bad women ain't gonna hold bad women accountable, but I'm talking to you so-called good women out there. The so-called proclaimed good women. Y'all should have held these bad women accountable, but you did not. Just like a lot of these men. Do men hold bad dudes accountable? No, not really. Because they're gonna feel like they weak or you've been a player hater or some other shit. So now when women move the way they move, don't blame women. It's the men. Men did not hold other men accountable. Example. She could have got an abortion, dog. You can't help with the rubber pups. She could have got an abortion. No. Why are you sleeping around with so many women? That's not the goal. The goal is to become this great guy. Then you can have any woman you want. But at least become the great guy first. That's holding men accountable. That's telling men that don't get a woman pregnant yet until you establish yourself. And if you do happen to accidentally get a woman pregnant, why are you fucking women that you don't really desire? So even if I get a woman pregnant that I'm not going to be with for whatever reason, at least I desire the woman and think she's a good woman and good enough to have a kid by. But that's not what men are doing. They're not holding other men accountable for that. They're not telling men that. All they're saying is, who fucks the most women? You the man, dog. If you not fucking top-notch women, then you not the man. If you sleeping with a bunch of women and they just whatever, it don't mean shit. Now, if you sleeping with top-notch chicks, you the man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna hold you. If you go pull top-notch chicks, you just the man. It is what it is. But most men who are sleeping around ain't pulling top-notch chicks like that. They might have one or two, but you can't, because a top-notch chick is going to demand respect and demand your time and shit. So it's going to be almost impossible. It's going to be almost impossible for you to hide the fact that you're sleeping with other women and to juggle that shit. You're not going to be able to juggle it because she's going to demand that you really show her time and attention and shit. Because self-respect is part of being a top-notch chick. So you'd be hard-pressed to find men out here who are sleeping with all top-notch chicks. No, they sleeping with women. I'm not even going to get into all that. We know what time it is. But men don't be holding men accountable. Soon as you say, man, why you fucking everybody, bro? Just fuck with women you like, man. Where's your self-respect? Now you're a player hater. Or you got a son, you giving him a high five because he's sleeping with somebody else's daughter. But when it comes to your daughter, you want to kill people and shit. If I have a son, I don't want him having sex with no girl yet. You can have your little girlfriend, but I really don't want you sleeping with the girl yet, man. I really don't even want you to be worried about women right now. I want you to get yourself established. Then you can have any woman you want. But if you do it the other way, you might fumble your success and fumble your worth as a man. Now you got to settle for Felicia. But for some reason, Men don't think that that's important, and it's not important to hold each other accountable for this shit. I don't understand it. It's the same thing that women do. You can cry till you're blue in the face. Ladies, don't settle for these men taking you on this date and that date and walking apart. It's all about what you women was taking advantage of. Unfortunately, the bad women, and the reason why men are starting to think that, hey, it's all of them. It ain't just some. It ain't good or bad. It's all of them. Because the good women was not holding the bad women accountable. Y'all wasn't exposing them or pointing them out. All y'all say is, if you don't like women so much, then date some guy. And then you want to cry and act like why and cry and act like you don't understand why men are the way they are towards females. Same vice versa. You will never hear me question why women are doing the shit they do when it comes to men. Because I know why. Because the way men are moving. But what I will question is, why aren't women holding other women accountable? Because I would hold men accountable. That's what my page is all about. My page ain't all about just, yeah, bad woman, bad woman, bad woman. That ain't gonna do nothing for men. We have to hold ourselves accountable first. As leaders, you got to hold yourself accountable first. Then you can start looking at that. Once you get your shit straight, then you can start looking at the females, and you're going to be able to see through females even clearer because you found within yourself what greatness is. And now that you find it within yourself, you're going to be able to easily spot it out when it comes to a woman, or easily spot it out that it's not in a woman. That's why it's so important to hold yourself accountable first. The reason why a lot of these females cannot choose the right guy is because they didn't hold themselves accountable first. They refuse to take time to be single, to learn themselves and love themselves for a minute. It's always man to man to man. You never gonna learn yourself that way. More spirit's been put in your body, more energy been put in your body. You're lost. You don't even know who you are. She done lost herself, sleeping with all these different men. And all she had to do is sit back for a minute, take a break and detox from men for a while and get to learn herself and love herself. Then she will recognize the right guy. But no, I'm Miss Bad Bitch. All men love me and want me. I do whatever I want with men. It's all about me. I'm God to men. And then I'm going to cry when men wake the fuck up and realize women like me ain't shit. It makes no sense. Women, just like I just said, men got to hold other men accountable because we're leaders. It doesn't matter if the woman's not the leader or not. She still got to hold other women accountable. It's not going to get better for women when it comes to men unless they hold other women accountable. Men can make videos all day long about women ain't doing this and this and this. It's not going to matter until women hold other women accountable. That's the only way it's going to change. It's just like racism in America. It's never going to change unless the so-called white people hold other white people accountable. And stop saying black, poor black. Stop playing a victim, black, and this and that. Instead of looking at it, you know what? I can see why they doing this. I'm going to start holding my own race accountable. But they won't do that because then it takes away from the privilege that they have, that they claim don't exist. Same thing with women. The privilege that they have that they claim don't exist. You see how this shit works? The same privilege that females have that they claim don't exist. I'm going to act like all men don't take me on a good date. I'm going to act like all men there's no good men. I'm going to act like this or that because really in reality, it's really my poor choices in men, but I'm going to act like it's all men. So I can get more advantages from men. It's kind of like a kid that pouts about something to get their way. Playing a victim card. I'm going to act like there's no bad women. Even though I'm a so-called good woman, like they claim, I'm going to act like there's no bad women. I'm not going to hold them accountable. That's the same thing that happens with racism. Why? Because you want that privilege. You don't want to release the power, so you're going to act like it doesn't exist. You're going to act like you don't have the upper hand as a female. But you know you do. Because men are stupid. If you don't hold other women accountable, y'all women, you might as well just stay single. It's too late, really. You should have been holding women accountable. You chose not to. You chose not to. Why do I gotta take you on an expensive date and I don't even know who you are? Why? I don't know you. I don't know if you really like me like that. That's like me saying, well, since I gotta take you on an expensive date, you gotta give me some pussy. Why you gotta give me some pussy and you don't even know who the fuck I am? You're no different than a man who takes a woman on a dinner date and, she ain't fucking, she could pay the bill. That's exactly what women are doing when they say, well, he didn't take me here or there. Why do you want to deal with a woman? See, this is the thing. Why on earth would you want to deal with a woman that feels like you got to do all these great things and it's not going to be enough? Because honestly, if a woman could provide that shit for herself, take herself on a nice dinner date and shit, she's not really going to demand that from a man that she's trying to get to know because she can do that herself. Plus, she's in it to try to get a man. It's the ones that are in it for them. I'm not wasting my time with that guy to get to know him unless there's something in it for me. There is something in it for you to get to know the guy. But that's not your motive, is it? That's why you men shouldn't take them on no expensive date. Because if her motive is to get to know you, it doesn't matter where we at. You remember when you was younger and shit, y'all used to sit on the back of the trunk of the car, and the woman be in between your legs and shit and all that shit? That was the best shit ever. You can't convince me that a woman that's really trying to get to know you wouldn't like that shit. At a fucking park, there's stars and shit like that. Why? Because when a woman really like you, it's about her being around you. It's not about whatever else. That's why the self-improvement don't really matter to a certain extent, because it only matters if you try to get pussy. If you try to get a solid chick, the self-improvement only matters for you to qualify, but not for her to consider you. If that makes sense. Like, you gotta have shit to qualify for a woman that's on her shit, but that doesn't make it official. That just shows that you have the potential. Same thing with you. She looks good. She got the potential. Now let's see if she qualifies. Let me get to know this chick. Oh, she said I had to take her on an expensive date. Disqualified. Oh, she talking to everybody on her phone, went on a date with me. Disqualified. They're trying to get y'all to do extra shit without giving y'all extra shit. The ones that are trying to get you to do so much shit without giving shit, nah, because really, it's funny how they claim that if what do you get in return? Oh, you get me, the woman. But it's funny how they say that shit, but you can't say, well, you get me, the man. Like they're better than you. But a woman who really is trying to get to know you and really feeling you, she's not going to feel she's better than you. Understand this shit. A woman who is trying to get to know you and really like you, or really interested in you, does not feel like she's better than you. Does not feel like she's better than you. The ones who feel like they're better than you, for whatever reason, most of them probably ain't better than you. They just think they are because they're gassed the fuck up. Those are the ones that are not in it for you. You need a woman that thinks that is your number one fan and a woman that makes you be her number one fan without the consequences of her thinking you're weak. Let me fuck him and this or that. A woman who really is genuinely trying to get to know you, dog. Fuck, man. When they genuinely try to get to know you, just like I just said, it's about you are good enough. You are good enough. Just you. She doesn't think you're better than her. When I think I'm better than you, oh, you gotta buy this, you gotta buy that. A lot of them really believe, I can't stress it enough, they think they're better than you, bro. She could have 5,000 kids and 5,000 pounds and still think she's better than you. You could be an NFL player. Oh God, I can't make this up. You can't make this shit up. Kevin Samuel's voice. She got 5,000 pounds, 5,000 kids, and you could be Michael Jordan in this motherfucker at 23 years old, and she still thinks she's better than you. But when a woman really like you, she don't think she's better than you. That's why it don't matter if you take her on a coffee date. That's why you got some men that are literally bums getting treated like kings by females. It's not this is what women don't get, or they do get it. I ain't gonna say that. Women are not dumb. They know the fucking game. They just playing dumb. Remember, like I said with the racism shit, they know what the fuck going on. They know why men are hesitant to take them on dates and open doors and all this shit. All they're doing is trying to take back the power because social media has woken up a lot of men and is taking the power away from them. Because they're not physically stronger than you, so the only way that they can really beat you is mentally. That's why you gotta think with your fucking head and not your fucking dick. Only in a bedroom. Outside of that, mind. When you're around a woman, you better tap into your mind. Because that's what she doing. Everything she say and do is all mental and shit. And for reasons and shit. Plots and plans and all this shit. But a lot of y'all just thinking with your dick, I just want to fuck her. Oh, she look good, dude. Like a dumbass. I don't give a fuck if you're a billionaire. Do not take that woman. Don't buy shit yet. Because if she really like you, she not going to care. She just simply not going to care. I'm going to say two things. If she really interested in you and she's just not in it for her. Just like a man who want more than sex from a woman, you might not let him hit, and he might be salty about it, but he's still going to fuck with you. He's still going to try to talk to you, get to know you and shit. He might be a little salty. That's another thing that women don't get. Why they want to fuck so quick and all this and all that, because so many females are out here stringing men along, using them for money and free sexual attention while they sucking and fucking another guy. But no woman on this motherfucking earth want to hold other women accountable for that shit. They just want to make statuses and say all these men care about is sex. All these men want to do is not take you on a date. They're cheap. They want to be baddies. They want to be the bad bitch princess and all this. But they don't want to hold accountable the females who are making men do this shit. When it comes to females. How is it I'm a man that understands why women are moving the certain way they move when it comes to men, but for some reason there's a blockage in the woman's brain that doesn't let her realize why men are moving a certain way when it comes to females? I said that backwards. I know why women move the way they move when it comes to males, but women act like they don't know what it is when it comes to females. But they do know what it is. They're just playing dumb. They're playing victims. They're playing dumb. Even the good women who You would think like, man, maybe she just don't know how bad women move. Because a lot of them will say, I don't know about the girls you dealing with, but I don't do this or that. Okay, we'll give you a little bit of benefit of the doubt, but they know that there's bad women out there. My thing is, why don't they hold them accountable? Why is it that a woman's allowed to have standards and a woman's allowed to expose what men are doing and shit, but men aren't? Why is that? I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Women who don't move foul do not care about you exposing bad women. They actually like it because that is going to separate them. Just like men who are moving great, they're not moving foul. They don't care about you exposing men, bad men, because it's going to separate them and make them look even different and better. They want you to expose bad men. Or should I say the bad shit that men do? So you got to ask yourself, when you're dealing with a female and she has a problem with a video or something exposing women, run. Don't even deal with her. Just get away. Because something's being jarred or some shit. Or she got some type of agenda and game that she don't want exposed. They hate it because it's exposing them and their game. See, if I'm not running game and I don't have an agenda, I wouldn't give a damn what you exposing. That's why the racist people hate it when you expose the shit that's happening in America. And they want to play dumb like it doesn't exist and all this. And I understand that just because you're not a certain color or just because you are a color that quote unquote has the privilege, that doesn't mean that your life's perfect. I get that. Some people don't, but I get it. But to act like it doesn't exist, that's the issue. Just like I understand that all this shit don't apply to every female, but to act like it doesn't exist, that's the issue. So as men, okay, you want to act like it don't exist and you want to take up for all females, then you must be one of them too. So now I got to move this way towards all y'all because y'all all taking up for each other. I don't see women. You're starting to see it now, but at first you wasn't seeing it. You wasn't seeing women exposing other females. They're taking up for them. And look where it got them. You had it made. You had men want to give you roses. Men want to open doors. Men want to be nice. Men want to text you back right away. All that shit. You had it all made. But the other women that aren't good mess that shit up for y'all good women. So-called good women. And you didn't expose them, so you messed it up for yourself as well. You should have made a big distinction between good women and bullshit, but y'all didn't do that. Y'all want to hold these females' hands. You do not realize that these women are the direct result of why you're struggling with men. They're the main direct result of why you're struggling with men. I don't care how good you look or none of that. The main reason why all women struggle with men to a certain extent, all of them are different with their struggle, but the main reason why is because you didn't hold other women accountable, or you're acting like the shit ain't out here. You're acting like these bad girls don't exist. And the same thing with y'all men, and I'm gonna leave that shit alone, man. I'm gonna leave that shit alone. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Every man don't date a younger woman because I need to get back on that shit for a second. Because what did it say? Because they're scared of grown woman pressure. I mean, if grown woman pressure is a bunch of weight and a bunch of kids and a woman that's mentally destroyed and a woman who wants to be the man and you can't tell her shit, then yeah, you should run from that. Why the fuck would you not? But on the flip side, since they want to use that bullshit, why don't you just pick a good man? Why don't you just pick a good man that ain't scared of grown woman pressure? Sounds hypocritical to me. Why are you worried about men that are so-called scared of grown woman pressure? Why don't you just pick a good one? Because it's not about that. It's not about age. It's not about men being scared of grown woman pressure. It's about them not being chosen anymore, and the younger women are. Because they used to be those younger women getting chose over the older women. Now the tables have flipped. and they want to try to flip it back around in their favor. But really, all they had to do is do the right thing, and they wouldn't even be in this position. Same thing with men. If you would have done the right thing, by the time you hit 30, 35, the whole world is in your hands. But instead, child support, and all this other shit. Honestly, younger women are probably harder to deal with because they're young, right? I mean, it's pros and cons to everything, but for the most part, I feel like a younger woman might be harder to deal with because she got more options. So we all know what happens when they got more options. The more options they got, the harder it is to deal with. We all know this. And a lot of the older women, they really only cooperating now because the options are slim. They only want the good guy now because the options are slim. You know what I mean? But when the bad guy and everybody on earth wanted them, they didn't want this good guy. If they did, they wouldn't be in the position that they're in. If they wanted the good guy, the solid guy from jump, they would not be in this position. They would not have to cry about men dating younger women. They only got to cry about it now because it's their competition. It was their competition then, but back then, at least they was a younger woman and they had a leg to stand on. Now they don't really have shit to stand on. They have to settle for less. They have to settle for men who fell off. Because make no mistake about it, when they say men dating younger women, they're not talking about the men who fell off and shit and bums and all that. They're not talking about them. They could care less if that guy dates a younger woman. Which he probably won't because he don't have the ability to pull them. They are talking about the men who waited, established themselves, and become great men and have the ability to pull a younger woman who's smart enough to say, you know what, these younger men on some bullshit, let me date somebody a little older than me and not waste my worth and time. They hating on that. They hating on your prime because you got the prime now that she used to have. When she used to shit on you, when you was at the bus stop and the drug dealer pulled up on a car and rims and shit, and you wasn't good enough. Remember that? Remember what B.O.B. and T.I. said in that song? Remember that shit? That's what's going on, man. And I suggest you, I'm not saying, if you older guy and you can find a woman to preserve herself, shit, why not? But the problem is, where's that at? How many women do that? You shouldn't have to settle for less as an older man because you preserved yourself and these women out here fucking everybody. You was on your shit. They trying to tell you that since you was on your shit this whole time and I wasn't, I fumbled my life, now you got to pick one of us. Because remember, the woman you pick is going to have a big result on how your life turns out. Just like a man they pick. Which is why a lot of them are in that fucked up position to begin with. Instead of this woman that's probably married or maybe on the verge of getting married or has the ability to still pull the 35-year-old businessman. Why don't you have the ability to pull a 35-year-old businessman now? Older woman, what happened? There's a reason for that. You can't convince me that a 35-year-old businessman is just literally, I just want a younger woman. He doing that because it's a better choice. Because all the older women fucked around and fucked up their worth. Or you didn't want that guy when y'all was younger. He wasn't good enough. He wasn't established yet. He didn't reach his prime yet. Now you want him. It's too late. But other women are not holding other women accountable for this shit. They like drama. They want finished products. They feel entitled. The good guy's boring. I bet the good guy ain't boring now, is he? After that life's fucked up, I bet that good guy ain't boring no more, is he? And I bet that bad boy wasn't that damn fun, was he? That ride wasn't all that fun, was it? And when I say bad boy and shit, you could literally be a thug street dude and still be a good dude because you treat the girl good. That's not when I say good guy, bad, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying when it comes to good guy, bad guy is how that man, what's his intentions for that girl? Women know when men have good intentions and when they don't. They just don't choose the ones that are good because they think that these guys are going to be there later. That's the real truth. They think that, oh, he likes me so much, he'll be there later. He'll always be there. But then when they get older and the guy don't want him no more, he's no longer there. Now he's wrong for dating a younger woman or a different woman or a different race woman, whatever the fuck they come up with. It's always something. It's always something. But yet they do the same shit. They're hypocrites. Hypocrites, man. If I was a guy that fell off and didn't preserve myself, and let's just say there's a woman like a Janet Jackson, and she want to date a younger guy, I get why. I just got to accept it. Like, I see why she would do it. I'm not going to shame the girl. She preserved her worth. I didn't. It is what it is. Especially if I curved her, and then later on she became Janet Jackson and shit. I just got to eat that shit. But they not going to eat that shit because misery loves company. I'm so tired of hearing there ain't good men and all that. Get out of here with that shit, man. You have a vagina. Men are in your fucking... Wait a minute. Make it make sense. Think about this, men. There ain't no good men out here, but in the same breath, I got them all lined up. Which one is it? Which one is it? Do you got them all lined up and men are so easy? Or there ain't no good men out here? See, it's a lie. It's all a fucking lie, man. It can't be both. It can't be there ain't no good men out here, but I got them lined up on deck. Because when you have people lined up, that means they're... Think about it. If somebody's willing to line up for you, they must think highly of you. But yet they will tell you there's no good men. Hypocrite fakes. That's why I said the game is rigged. And you're not going to get through to them. Because it benefits them. Just like you're not going to get through racist people. They're always going to act like it doesn't exist. Because it benefits them. So the same thing with the female. The game benefits her, so she's going to ignore all the other shit. She's going to act like it doesn't exist. Look, man. I'm out of here, man. Y'all have fun with that dating shit and all that shit. But to me, the only way you can win this game is through God. You just got to let God be God. You try to do some stuff and try to like this and that, man, good luck with that. You're going to fumble. I'm almost certain. That's why I say don't even worry about it. Put that stuff in God's hands and just stay focused and keep self-improving. And the women that ain't supposed to be in your life, they will fumble you. The Most High will expose or remove them. And the woman that's supposed to be there, she will be there at some point. Same thing with females, but the problem with the female is she can't handle being alone. She always got to have another guy on deck and another guy's attention and shit. She can't just say, you know what, I'm just going to kick back and detox from men for a while and let God put one in my life. I'm going to self-improve as a woman and let God put one in my life. She can't do that. She can't go a day without some type of man's energy, right? But you men can't move like females, dog. You a man. You got to be willing to be alone in order for you to find somebody solid. Or even if you just want to just be cordial with chicks and get chicks that respect you, you got to be able to be alone because you're going to have to cut off motherfuckers as soon as you see the fuck shit. Versus, oh man, I know she did that, but she sucks my dick or something, so I'm going to just keep her around. See, that bullshit is the shit that get men caught up in some bullshit. So you got to be able to be alone. That's the only way you're going to find the right woman. Or if you choose to deal with multiple women, that's the only way you're going to be around women that respect you, that won't get you set up in a hotel. Because a lot of men think, well, she let me fuck, she gave me head. But yeah, then he's in the cemetery. Because she didn't respect you. She had you robbed and set up. So either way you slice it. Because I know some people, they don't want one woman. They just want to have fun. It is what it is. So either way you slice this shit, you got to master being alone. That's the only way you're going to get the right woman in this so-called game that's fucked up and corrupt and fixed against you. Or that's the only way you're going to be able to get solid women, because you should not be just sleeping with bottom feeder females. Because what happens if you get one pregnant? That's what happened to a lot of men. Oh man, I just want a nut, man. I don't like her like that. But you put your whole body in her. You take her spirit and her energy and all that. What happens if you get her pregnant? Now you're stuck with somebody you don't even like. At least if I get the woman, if I only fuck women that I actually like and desire, at least if I get her pregnant, hey, I ain't tripping. I like the girl. We might not work. We might not get along too much or whatever. But, you know, I could deal with the fact that I got her pregnant versus, man, why the fuck I get her pregnant? You see, it's a difference, man. That's why it's important for men to understand that you got to hold men accountable, and it's important for you to understand that you can't just sleep with anybody. I don't care if you're a man. You can't just sleep with anybody. You just can't. I'd rather just jack off than to sleep with a girl I don't want. It don't make sense to me.